Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Okay, we're about to have our Summer House Martha's Vineyard review about the reunion. We're going to talk about it as soon as we get back. So you'll grab your popcorn, grab your little drinky drinks, and come on right back. All right, we'll be right back after this intro.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV's church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank y'all for being here. Oh, my goodness, Jonathan. I am ready to have this convo. Let me try and make myself not so bright. I'm already bright, but jeez.
Light and bright, honey. Yes. Come on, mellow yellow, honey.
The mellow yellow. We were not talking. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Let's have this review and this chat. Hey, Lady Virgo. Thank you.
Hey, Lady Virgo.
You're beautiful. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
How are you? All right, you guys. Let's have this chit chat. Jonathan, I was happy to see that they had a reunion.
Yes.
I was happy for that. But I was like, ooh, Andy going the little inexpensive route.
Very inquisitive, very nosy questions, extremely intrusive questions, very much newsy in a way, for sure. Uncomfortable in some cases as well. I would not want to be in a reunion with Andy Cohen because I would not want to answer any of his questions at all. Not based on what he was asking these people. And typically he does do that during reunions, but for some reason this reunion, it seemed like it was pushed to the 10th power. And I felt very uncomfortable for everyone who was involved.
But I also noticed that listen, you know how the other reunion shows are like very extravagant. Can you hear me okay, Jonathan?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, great. You know, because I'm not using my microphone, I'm using a computer mic. But okay, so you know how normally the reunions, Andy puts this big old elaborate stage and everything. Well, this one was like really cheap. They were just in the clubhouse, all squished in there. All 10 of these castmates were in the clubhouse, squished in there. I was like, Andy, what happened? What's with the budget? Is the show not doing well enough for you to have a real reunion platform?
Right. My mother made the same statement when she saw it. But there was another TV show on Bravo, something in Heels. I can't remember exactly what the name of it was, but I know Heels was a part of it. It was on, a couple of years ago, maybe almost 10 years ago. It had 2 seasons on it, and every time that they had 2 reunions, I believe, and both of their reunions were in the clubhouse. So I guess if you're not an actual housewife show and you're going to have a reunion, but Vanderpump Rules had a reunion and it wasn't in a clubhouse. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know either, Jonathan, but I was like, oh wow. That's all I could say.
But I love that the color was pink. I thought everyone looked decent.
That was cute.
Alex kind of copped out. I didn't see too much pink on him, but it's okay. Of course, Amir wanted to show his muscles. I had no issues with what he had on. Jordan had on some kind of two-toned red on the top and pink furry looking print on the bottom. I did not like Jasmine's wig, Jasmine's hair. That color, it's almost like she tried to dye it a different color and it didn't turn out well. It looked kind of ashy to me, almost grayish in a way, but still blonde. And I don't know, but I thought her dress was pretty. And I thought Bria had the best dress. Bria was real sparkly. I loved what she had on. I also loved what Summer and Noelle had on too. And Preston, of course, Preston had to show out.
Preston's always my favorite.
But I was upset that Preston was on the end. I wish Preston was maybe closer to the middle, because Preston has been like the centerfold of this group. He's been kind of the voice of reason for everyone. But it is what it is.
I think the reason why Preston was on the end, I think may have had something to do with Jasmine, because Jasmine and Preston apparently are at odds with each other, because did you see the conversation the two of them were having? And Jasmine even was like telling him, I thought maybe basically you would have been more on my side because I brought you into this group. I'm like, no, she's not trying to be Queen Bee with Preston.
Right. When they were discussing her not being invited to the Jamaica or Puerto Rico trip that he went on with Denise and Summer. So I understand why she might feel away. But at the same time, Jasmine, you have to understand, because you're married, and Jordan brought this to her attention. You're not the same girl. You're not the same girl. So it's like, I don't know who you are or what you want to present to us whenever you want to present it to us. When you're with Silas, you're one way. When you're with us, it's like you don't know who you want to be. So I get it. And I wish Preston would have been able to verbalize that for her.
I think she was being a bit shady to Preston, though, because she was not invited on that trip and Preston wasn't. And she feels as though, oh, I brought you into this group. You're my friend, but then you go and you do friend things without me when I'm the one that brought you in. Hey, Michelle.
Right. Hey, Michelle. And no one wants to get left out. That's always a terrible feeling to feel, especially when you're all supposed to be friends and all supposed to be in a friend group. But again, it's like, if we invite you, is your husband going to come? Because we know you're going to ask if he can come. And we don't want no party pooper to be pooping out at our parties. So, you have to take other things into consideration when someone's married, and even if especially when they have kids. So, not that they had any kids at the time, but I'm just saying, when you're dealing with someone who's in a relationship or married, you have to consider those things as well when you're planning these types of things.
That's true. Yes, Lady Virgo, I saw your comment. I told it to my husband. We cracked up. That video was funny. That video was funny. My husband called him Pharrell Perrell. He didn't know his name. Yeah, Jasmine, Michelle, I agree with you. Jasmine was very bitter about that trip, and I don't blame her, though. I get it, but I also get Preston's side. I get why Jasmine was upset. If I'm your friend and then I bring you into a friend group and then you decide to go on a whole destination trip,
right,
and don't even mention it to me, I would be a little hurt as well. But I understand what Preston was saying too, because Preston is basically like, just because you brought me with these friends don't mean that I have to have a certain friend dynamic, meaning I don't have to include you on everything. I can still be friends with them and friends with you, and understand that if they just want to go here and not have you as part of this. So I don't think Jasmine's real issue should have been towards Preston. I think it should have been towards the girls, because they're your friends too. And they're the ones that did not invite you on the trip. Jasmine is stuck in a tough situation because her husband is somebody that the crew don't want to really be around. Even when Andy asked how many of you basically have missed Simon, and 3 of them raised their hands and everybody else had their hands down, including Nick. Nick had his hands folded in his seat like, I ain't even trying to raise my hand. I know I ain't even trying to raise my hand to say I miss Silas. No, I don't miss Silas. That's the read and body language I was getting from Nick.
Right. But, and I'm glad everyone was truthful when Andy asked that question. But I think Andy asked the question because he knew what the answer was already.
He knew. And then Silas has to look at this. Look at what type of dynamic you're setting for your wife's friends. Look at what's going on. And then understand that you are the reason for this. And like, I get what Jordan was saying too. Jordan was like, listen, Jasmine has changed. And Jasmine is saying that she evolves basically. And she, is a mother now, a wife now. And so she's got to evolve. But I get what Jordan was saying is you could still evolve, but not be so disconnected from your friends.
Exactly. They feel as though she's forgotten where she's come from or who she has been in the past. But it is what it is. It's different when people get in relationships. And it seems like Silas has made a change in Jasmine in a way. Yeah. It seems like she's a little more buttoned up, a little more conservative, which is okay if that's how you want to live your life. It's just that you have to communicate that with your friends, so they don't have expectations of you being the same old Jasmine that you've been in years past.
Yeah, poor Jasmine. And I get her saying she was lonely. She's very lonely.
Yeah.
And it's because the people, not that they don't want to spend time with you, Jasmine, if you're listening, if you're watching the show, somebody sent her this link. It's not because your friends don't want to spend time with you.
Right.
It's because your friends don't want to spend time with your partner. Now, I want to say this too. Silas is overseas, or was overseas at the time. Her friends really should have stepped up and been there for her, knowing that he was out of the country in this, in this service. So if you have military friends and you know that their spouses are in the military or so forth, and you know that they're being deployed, spend some time with those friends, because those people go through a lot. It's women and men. When they are left alone, they go through a lot. So take some time and reach out to them, especially if you know they've been deployed. So that part I get when Jasmine was crying and saying, she's all alone and stuff like that. And I think she still holds some of that in when she was at the reunion. But I get it. Let me show you this, because when I saw the seating, Jonathan, I was like, no, they don't have Bree on the end. What the heck? What?
Yeah, sitting right next to Andy. Yeah, I didn't like that either.
How? I'm like, why is Bria sitting next to Andy? That's like when they put Sheree next to Andy. I'm like,
right. But at the same time, though, this made a little bit more sense than Sheree sitting next to Andy, because Bria has been in the middle of a lot of stuff that went on this season, especially as it pertains to Nick and Simon, for that matter. So it honestly did not surprise me, although I didn't like it. It really didn't surprise me. But she could have switched places with Preston, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, come on. She could have switched places with the cameraman for all I care.
Right. She didn't even have to be there.
Well, let's take a look at this scene we have on here. Of course, you've got Jasmine, which rightfully so, she should be next to Andy. I believe so.
Right.
And then right next to her, of course, you have Summer and everything that she's been through. She had a huge storyline. So, yeah, she should be there. And then they have Nick, which I think Nick and Preston should have swapped. Because I think Preston's storyline was a lot bigger, but I think Preston is not being shown as much of a storyline as he really should have been, because Preston has a really great storyline as far as his sexuality, him dealing with his family and his family rejection and all that, and his fiance. So I believe that Preston really should have gotten more focus on these episodes. But I think sometimes what they do is they look at the LGBTQIA plus community, because Andy is LGBTQIA plus, and he may be like, that's just nothing. But to us who want to know more information, we really want to see more of that, and we really focus more on that. But I think because of what sexuality Andy is probably why production did not see the storyline of Preston as big as it really was. I mean, you get what I'm saying? I mean, if it would have been maybe a straight person, they would have focused more on Preston's storyline, because it would help so many other people out here who's really dealing with that real life stuff. I know Nick is dealing with some stuff too,
right?
But in relation to what Preston came out the gates with his family not wanting him around, or not even at his father's funeral, to me, it was a bigger storyline, but that's what they chose to do, put him on the end.
Yeah, a lot of times people want to put us to the side, and a lot of times they may think, oh, well, been there, done that. We've heard that all before. The story of an LGBTQ plus person. Some people might feel it gets old because it sounds like the same story every time. To some, it may. I'm not saying that it actually is, because all of our stories are different and authentic to each and every one of us individually. But again, I'm just glad that he has a spot on the show. I'm glad that he is representation rather, of us on the show. So I'm just glad that he's in the room.
Yes, I love it too. I love it. Well, then you had, of course, you have Noel
Hmm.
there, and Noel took a seat before Preston. I'm still mad.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. The new
and then
girl.
the new girl, even though she was a little, fire. I liked her. She was good. And then on the other side, you got Bria, and then you have Jordan, and then you have Shanice,
Shanice.
and then you have Amir, and then you have Alex. They had that side right, except for Bria. Jordan's shirt, I really thought it was interesting. It looked like little pieces of candy roll,
Yeah.
the candy rollout paper that they had.
It looked like
It
latex.
it was, yeah, but to me it was kind of cute. It was kind of interesting. I did not get pink from it, but it was cute. Andy's suit was really cute. I really did like Andy's suit, Andy's pink suit as well.
Yeah.
But that was the seating. Yeah, Michelle, I did not understand that seating either. I didn't get it. I did not
Did
get
you like the fact that Shanice is all black now? I love her black hair. I love the fact that the
it.
blonde streaks are not in anymore. I think it makes her look a little bit more youthful. I
Hmm.
think it makes her look a little bit more approachable as well. Not to say that those who are blonde aren't approachable, but it makes her look nicer. I don't know. I
Hmm.
like the black hair on Shanice.
I do have to say, I do love Bria's makeup
Mm.
in this reunion. Her makeup was really nice. She really looked totally different, but that's the only thing I really like about Bria. But what about the conversation? Since we're talking about Bria, let's talk about this. Bria is still saying that Simon is not her soulmate, that her soulmate is in what other country, whatever,
She said in
and
Tribeca.
Tribeca. And they were like, country, look at me, that's some part, isn't it? But anyway, New
Yeah.
York, wherever
I
this,
think that's New York, right? Yeah.
right, New York, wherever, some crossing, whatever this man is. I think it's in her imaginary head. But
Right.
anyway, and she says that Bria is basically like, well, I do, he's my soulmate, but she's basically still dating Simon, and they're like, really? And she's like, oh well, the guy in Tribeca, he heard about this and he just laughed about it. And I'm like, girl, he is laughing at you.
Right. And then she also said that she would still marry Simon, although she literally just said that he's not her soulmate, but she's still going to marry him. Like that doesn't make any sense to me but whatsoever, but it does not surprise me that Brie would say something like that. That didn't surprise me whatsoever because it's dumb.
It is. It is. It's crazy. And they also were saying, and this is even the cast, some of the cast members were saying that they believe that Simon is using Bria to be on the show.
Now, I will say Simon may want some exposure. Now, I don't think that he's deliberately with Bria only because she's on this show. I think that they were together prior to this show even airing last year.
Mhm.
So I don't want people to put that on Simon because, as Bria said, Simon's a millionaire. Simon got his own money. I'm sure he's probably well known in Germany, wherever he's from. And I think, as they said, Simon loves attention. And
Yeah.
so any chance that he has to get attention, he's going to grab it. He's going to grab it and he's going to take it and take it for all that ever. It's going to milk it dry, honey. But that's just who Simon is. And I love that about him. That's just who he
Yeah.
is. And I accept that. And
I
it
know.
seems as though Bria doesn't appreciate that about him. And it's like, it seems like she's annoyed by that fact about Simon. But, if you're annoyed by that, then why are you with him? Oh, because he's,
A millionaire.
yeah, because he's your, yeah, So hey, and then Bria said at the on the finale, she said, I don't want to have to make the decision. We all know what decision she was talking about, breaking up with him. We know why you don't want to break up with him because he is your financial stability. At least in my opinion, that's what it is. Because I still don't know what Bria does, y'all.
And he helped get you out of jail.
While she was in France or something like that, she
Mhm,
said.
mhm. And I understand what Preston was saying. Preston was like, listen, I've been a good friend to you. I've been a good friend to you, Bria, because when you were locked up, Preston is calling lawyers and stuff overseas to help you out. And then you going to treat him like that? You need to bow down and kiss Preston's feet. But you're going to not give accolades to what Preston did. You just talking about, oh, Simon is good to you because he got you out of jail. He was the only one in Europe or wherever it was you were arrested that's going to go
Right.
and bail you out. Ain't nobody else going to be over there like, let me get Bria out of jail. Even Milo was probably not going to be at the place barking trying to get you out of jail. So Simon had a duty to do that. It wasn't that, oh, yeah, he did it. And I'm glad he did do it because he didn't have to do it. But who else in that whole dang on country was going to run to get Bria out of jail? Preston over here in the States doing all he can to help her, and you still treat Preston like that?
I think Bria feels that way because Preston doesn't validate Bria the way that she wants to be validated, the way that she wants to be supported in all of her tomfoolery that she does from time to time. And Preston holds her accountable. And maybe that's not the type of friend that Bria wants, but that's the type of friend she got in Preston. And so, when Preston tells you about yourself, of course she has her moments where she's there to sit down and able to take it, like they did at the while they were playing basketball. I appreciated that. But Preston's not that friend that's going to follow you up on your BS. He's not going to do that at all.
Accountable. He holds her accountable, and she don't like it so much so that Bria is a spoiled brat to me. In my opinion, a spoiled brat. Even so much, Preston has every right to be like feeling a little salty with her because he's been a good friend. He took a lot of hits from Bria on this season, a lot of hits, and he still turned around and say, "I love you," and yet she goes and blocks him on social media. The same one that was calling, getting you lawyers, you block on social media. And then at the reunion, when Andy asked, are you going to unblock him? You're basically like, oh, I guess when I'm ready or so forth. And girl,
who wants to be Bria's friend? I don't know. I don't know.
No wonder Milo was trying to run away.
Okay, where was Milo? In Germany with Simon, okay?
Listen.
In Germany, okay? Not with his mama.
Bria's got issues, but I think because Bria has been getting away with it so long, that's just what she's going to do. Now, let's talk real quick about the real burning thing that I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. I was going to save this for last, but I got to talk about it now. Nick and Tasia are no longer together.
Right.
Jonathan, I took 2 gaffes.
Really?
Yeah, because I really like the 2 of them together. I almost shed a tear when I heard that they're not together. And I was like, why?
Right. And with his explanation, that he felt like their lives were going in 2 separate directions, but he also confirmed that the show hadn't played a part in it as well. And I do understand that. Hopefully it wasn't more from the girl's side of things, but it was more her seeing what he was doing, and maybe she did see that as disrespect to her in that relationship, which is understandable because I don't know if I would want my husband or my man, kind of gawking at someone else or touching someone else. You have to set boundaries at the beginning of your relationship, so you have expectations in your relationship, so you know what to do and what not to do. And apparently, I'm guessing that they never had that conversation, which a lot of relationships don't have that conversations. You have to set your expectations early on.
Listen, I kind of felt like with that whole thing, the ladies talking about Nick is touchy, Nick is this, Nick in the first season, Nick is in people's DMs, Nick is liking people's posts and all that kind of stuff. I kind of felt like Nick was being a friend. Now, going in DMs is kind of different. If you like a post, you like a post. But when they were saying he was going to people's DMs, but I think Nick is also the type of guy that once you tell him something, he will try and do his best to adjust it.
Exactly.
And change it. And so when he said that they're going in different paths or directions in their lives, him and Tasia, I felt that there's something that we don't know or have not heard yet, because the way Tasia stood up to Natalie and to the girls at the party lets me think that even if that was it, like Nick said, that wasn't the major part. It played a part in it. So something else happened in their relationship that we have not seen. That's what I'm getting from it.
And it also could have been outside sources, when you're on television and you have people who are watching saying, well, if my man did that, I definitely wouldn't be with him no more. Maybe her family might have, been talking in her ear. So, when you have pressure to do something, a lot of times people give into that pressure. So I really can't blame Tasia for making that decision for herself. You got to put yourself first all the time.
I hope that they can work this out because I really did see them as a couple, like getting married, being, together, having babies, getting old together. I really
Yes.
did see the two of them like that. And I'm praying that they will get back together if it's best in both parties' best interest. But I was really sad at that part. I was really sad that, it was that. But I think he is still my number one for this season. He is my number one. I'm still rooting for Nick. Nick to me is a great guy. I love how, again, that he is willing to adjust whatever differences people have against him. I love that because a lot of people would just be like, hey, that's just me, and you don't like it, you don't like it. But I'm rooting for Nick. I am rooting for Nick. And if he gets back with Tasia, I will be happy, happy, happy. Michelle said, I think Tasia was embarrassed. That's why they broke up.
Agreed. That is embarrassing, even though Nick really didn't do anything like out of the box. Like he wasn't really like grabbing like a handful of ASS. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all of that. It's just the perception. That's what people perceive when you do certain things. It makes it look like. But at the same time, for Bria to make the comments that she made, she was starting to sound like Giselle Bryant when she was saying, well, if he was in that type of situation, then I think that he would go ahead and do it. And he was flirting with me while we were on the boat, which there was no evidence of that whatsoever.
Go Bria. That's all he was doing. How do you call that flirting?
Exactly. And I wish they would have confronted Bria about what she said concerning Nick in her face so that she could answer to that, because what she said, it really could have had an effect on Tasia and Nick both. And I really feel like Andy should have held her feet to the fire a little bit better with that.
He should have, since he gave her a second chair. She should have had her feet closer to the fire. I mean, that's just, just delusion 101. I don't understand it. But Nick also said he felt like he embarrassed her on TV, or someone said on the panel, I think they embarrassed her on TV, but I don't know. I like the two. I wish they could have got together. Like you said, Nick to me did not do any of the horrible things. I mean, Alex, went inside her, and and he's still like, okay, that's just. What do you think about Alex? And they talk about he's an F boy. What do you? I don't see that.
Now, Alex said that he never used the word F-boy. And when Summer was giving her explanation, that F-boy doesn't even sound like that's a part of Alex's vocabulary, at least not in my opinion. So I'm sure that was a little bit of juice that Summer added on to that conversation. Maybe he just said that he doesn't see a relationship with you in the future, and this is all it's going to be. And I guess Summer said, well, if we can't be in a relationship, then I don't want anything to do with you at all. And that seems to be the way that it happened. But I'm so glad that Alex stood his ground. And, when he was on Watch What Happens Live and said, well, Summer was sending me these voice messages. It sounded like she was an angry ex-girlfriend or something like that, which is true. And Summer had to confirm that, well, yes, it was one voice. Well, it was still a voice message that you sent to him, and you was what? Sounded like an angry ex-girlfriend, a pissed off, petty angry ex-girlfriend.
Well, scorned ex-lover.
Scorned, yes, that's the word I was looking for. Scorned. Thank you so much.
Scorned ex-lover.
Yes.
And we all know women who are scorned, honey. What they do, they try and take you down. I think Summer was hurt, and I think that Alex should have learned more about Summer and what she was going through before he actually got into that position of entering in her. Because it actually messed more with her mindset and her thoughts. She was already hurt, feeling rejected, and then to have Alex do that and then turn around and say, no, we weren't in a relationship, we weren't a couple, it was just what it was, that makes more of that hurt on her. So I would say this to people who are out there going to have these, what you may call a one-night stand with somebody, or 2 or 3 night stand, or whatever it is. You need to have that real communication with that person before you do that, because you could be putting some real long-term longevity, mind messed up stuff on a person when you do that, because we could see how that really hurt Summer. And Alex, he needs to really take his time before he gets into bed with somebody else, because sometimes these women are scorned to the point where they want to do more than just talk about you.
Exactly. And here's the thing. People may not believe it, but believe it. When you have intercourse with someone, you actually have a soul connection with that person. You cannot get
Yeah.
any more intimate
Right.
than with intercourse. And so
Mhm.
you now have a part of that person. That person has a part of you. Now, of course, Summer, took it to the love thing, while they were on the boat, when you have sex, and maybe that's the way Summer sees sex. And when you don't have that conversation before you get into the bed, then, she has unexpected expectations going into it, thinking that it's going to lead to something else.
Mhm.
Alex had no expectations whatsoever. It was
None.
just another night at the in the bed. So, you have to have these types of conversations, but we as young people, we tend to kind of skip that part and get straight to the banging.
And then think about it afterwards. Now, he's like, now I'm going to think about it when it's already done. But
Right.
mentally, that took a hit on her. And I think that's part of why she had this such explosive behavior
Mhm.
on the show, besides all the other things that she was dealing with. She did say on the reunion that she did find her biological father, and he happened to be the
Mhm.
guy that was on Facebook. And when Andy asked, how's that relationship going? And she's basically, no, there's no relationship. I want to say this to that part. There's a lot of people out here that are looking for their biological parents. And when they find them, they're very hurt when they find
Mhm.
out and they don't have the relationship. So just understand that sometimes if you don't have a relationship with your biological parents, instead of feeling like, oh, I feel so bad I didn't, just understand that maybe it was the best thing for you not to have found them. But even if you do find them, I would say don't set your expectations so high, because when you
Right.
set your expectations so high, then you end up hurting yourself when they fall so low.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
just use caution with that when you're out here. There's a lot of people that are seeking their biological families, and then when they find them, some of them are happy, joyful, and it works out great. But a larger majority, from what I have seen, have been the opposite, and they have been very sad. And sometimes some of them even feel like they wish they would have never found them. They wish they would have
Right.
never come into their lives. So I'm glad she has gotten over that part, and pray that her healing comes to her.
Mhm.
Listen, that's a conversation that she really should be talking about, because there's a large demographic of people, not demographic, there's a large amount of people that could really relate to that. And she really should
Right.
have more conversations about that. Michelle says Summer needs to stay off the show and get herself together. She does.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
glad when Andy asked if she could spend another summer with this group of people, and she said, I give him a little bit of time, but maybe not a full season. So I'm glad that she knows, she knows her limits, and she
Her
knows what
limit.
she'll be able to deal with. So I'm so glad that she's aware of that. I'm
And
glad
I
about
think
that.
I think what Andy was doing was asking her a human resources question at the same time. Like, basically, do you want to come back, or you want to be a friend of the show? And I think she answered herself. So I think if she does come back, she's gonna be a friend of the show. She's gonna be like
Right,
Phil,
of course, of
Phil
course.
and that other chick. She's gonna be like them.
I just want her to get better for herself. I just want her to
I
get
do.
better.
And I'm glad she's brave enough to do that. Even with people are like, some people stay on these shows for money, and they really mess up their own mind because they
Hmm.
stay on these shows way longer than they should. And for her to basically be like, I'm going to give up the money, I'm going to go ahead and get myself together because that's what's more important to me. Brave act for her to do, and I cheer her. One thing you said also, Jonathan, I want to go back to, you were saying when people have intercourse, they're entering into something more of the dynamics in the spiritual realm. We
Hmm.
also have to let people know that intercourse is more than just you two sleeping together. The spiritual side is really, really big. The word intercourse, anyway, intercourse, you are entering a course that you
Right.
probably are not sure if you want to run. So you don't know
Exactly.
if you want to be in that course. So before you do it, be careful. Alex also made the statement. He was like, if I wanted to be an F boy, I could have been with Noel. Ooh.
Right, and he turned down Noel. So F boy activity, F boy,
Wow.
tendencies. No, not with Alex. Alex is not that dude at all. Actually, none of these men in this house are. Maybe Phil. Phil might be an F boy, but he's changed his colors. He's changed his tune now. So maybe we don't want to put that label on him either. But none of these men on this show could be considered F boys. At least not in my opinion.
Well, and then now they like, what? I mean, Noel's like, why are you bringing me in this? Why? Noel, if Alex probably, allegedly, would have said, "Come on, baby." What do you think that Noelle would have really gone? I think I don't know. I kind of think that she probably would have laid down and had a little nappy nap. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't remember exactly what their conversation was that led to him kind of denying her of them
It's
doing
because she was
anything.
flirting with the boy in the pool. She was flirting with the boy in the
Oh,
pool, and
okay, okay,
Alex was kind of, like he didn't say jealous, but he was jealous. And so
right.
to get back at her, I think he was like, okay, I'm gonna turn her down now that she's talking this. I'm gonna turn her down. I think that's my opinion of this.
Right, but no, Noelle's not turning Alex down. I don't know. I don't know too many women that would, to be honest. So it is what it is. Alex is a very handsome man.
I would
Extremely
turn
handsome.
Alex down because I've been on peep that game long time ago. Oh, you ain't here to stay. You just here until the breakfast is
Oh,
cooked and
right.
the front door is open and the sun is shining. No,
You,
Alex, don't about your
you ain't
business.
here to stay. You here to play, honey. Okay, that's you play to play them games, child.
You think you're gonna wake up and the bacon gonna be cooking? Nope. No bacon up in here, Alex.
Speaking of the bacon, what was Bria talking about when she's at home with Simon? She's cooking and cleaning over in Germany. Girl, Nick told you to clean the bathrooms before their company was coming, and you had an issue with that. And the times that I saw you in the kitchen cooking, I don't think that there was too much of a good response to your cuisine, honey. Okay, so I don't know what type of cooking and cleaning you doing. Are you lying and lying? That's what it sounds like to me.
Bria trying to act like she's Susie housekeeper. We saw how that room look. We saw how that
Okay,
room look.
the
Bria,
whole season,
the 2 seasons.
the whole season. Yes, both seasons.
We saw how you are in the kitchen, girl. Yuck, girl, stop.
That's the
No,
worst thing about this show. None of these females seem to be good in the kitchen. The best cook that's on this show is Amir, honey. Okay.
Amir. Even Preston got in there with his
Okay.
fiance and did better.
Yes.
Girl, I think Bria lives in this land where she wants us to believe the words that's coming out of her mouth. No, Bria,
Yeah.
we do not believe the words that's coming out of your mouth.
She's living a fantasy that she wants
No,
everyone
ma'am.
to buy into. She wants everyone to buy into my fantasy. Let's live in this fantasy world. Yeah. No, we live in reality, girl. Okay. And that's what we're
Reality.
going to do. And I'm glad that
Mhm.
Preston is there to give her the reality check she needs at the time that she needs it.
That's right. And Bria, if you want to keep Preston Block, go ahead. We all follow him.
Okay.
We all follow him. So, we'll talk to him while you stand over there, Block. We will follow Preston. So let's get into Noelle real quick. Noelle and Summer arguing over if Summer told her she had sex with Alex.
Right. Because when you say, you hanging with someone, is that the word that she used? What word
Yeah,
was it?
something
Yeah,
like that.
when you're hanging or chilling with someone, chilling and hanging does not equal intercourse.
No,
So for you to say that you told her, that is
didn't.
a blatant lie, because you definitely did not tell her verbatim that you guys had intercourse, that you guys had sex. But
Right.
then she went back like, oh no, I told her afterward, after the conversation came
Flip
up at the
flopping.
table, when I told everybody that he had been inside you, girl.
Flip
I'm
flopping.
glad Noelle stuck up for herself and said, no, I'm not gonna let you tell that lie, girl, because you didn't tell me that y'all done did the do.
Now, listen, I was with Noelle all along too, because when we were watching it, we're like, why would Noelle want to be with him knowing that someone was with him? But then we find out on the reunion, Noelle did not know. She did not know because Summer was not, she was kind of alluding to, but not coming out and saying it. So I want to ask you this, Jonathan. If you have a friend and your friend hooked up with somebody, would you think, and I know what I would say, but do you think that your friend should just come right out and tell you, hey, we all friends, but I want to let you know that I hooked up with this person?
Especially if they know me and they know how I am and they know that I love the menses, they should know that I need to be made aware of your situation so that I'm not stepping on your toes when I go over and approach this man, okay? And do whatever we do, honey, okay? I expect full ownership of what it is that you guys have done in the past. So I am knowledgeable of what you guys have going on. So yes, I do want to be told.
Of course, and I think that Summer should have told her that. Now, maybe Summer was embarrassed and did not want to disclose that she and him had a relationship, because I think if she wouldn't have gotten so angry to the point where she just said, when you were inside me, I don't think we would have ever heard of her and Alex having this hookup.
But that's the thing. Noelle literally asked her because she was interested in Alex, and the answer that she got was not truthful. So you know, she was doing Noelle was doing what she was supposed to do, and Summer for whatever reason wanted to be vague and coy about it, which is, I don't know why she felt that way when she then felt the need to announce to everyone that they had done it. So
that's what I'm saying. I think she was embarrassed. I think she was embarrassed because she goes on the show and she realizes that her and Alex are not coming on the show together as a couple. Right. And she knows that it's being filmed. She knows that the world is going to see it. And she probably was not going to bring it up. But when she got upset enough at Alex, and I think there was a little liquor in that, allegedly.
Right, yes.
I think that's when it just exploded out her mouth. And so now she got to, deal with that.
And you have to remember, she was also... You have to remember, she was also upset about Nick not inviting her to an event in New York. And that's what precipitated her telling everyone that they had been together. So, it was a whole lot of things compiled together that caused that outburst.
Yeah, but then Andy asked, how are you? She asked Noelle, how are you and Alex? And she said, oh, we're friends. And she looked over at him. I was like, ooh, she still got that interest in him. She's still.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. Don't be ashamed of that, girl. Don't have no shame in your game, child. Ooh. You grown. Do what you do.
Oh, okay, let's go over to your boy. Let's go over to your boy, Amir.
Mm-hmm.
Because even Andy picked up on it, and Andy said it does not seem like Natalie trusts Amir.
Right. And I'm also so glad that Andy brought up the fact that she said, well, I make, in a month what Amir would make in a year. And, kind of talking down to Amir, trying to make it seem as though she's on a higher level than Amir is. Also saying that she really doesn't get along with the group and that she's a little bit distant from the group. And Amir said, well, yeah, she is distant. That's just who she is. And so I'm glad that Amir is the type of man that will stand up for his woman. I'm glad that Amir is the type of man that is loyal to his woman. But at the same time, I feel like he's blind to the things that she does that bring him down. And typically you wouldn't expect that from a man to be able to take that, to just stand there. And, when your woman says, oh, I'll make what he makes in a year, in a month, there's not too many men out here who are going to be A-okay with a woman saying that about her relationship. But I'm so glad that Andy brought that up to him. And I don't know if Andy was saying like this should be a reason for you to leave her. So I don't know if that's the reason why Andy brought that up, but I
think he was basically trying to let Amir know, hey, pay more attention to who you're dating. I think that's because Andy also brought up the information that Amir is purchasing a home and that him and Natalie are going to be on the deed of this property together. Now, when Andy mentioned this is when my real estate kicked in, because that is my whole forte, my whole business and everything that I do. So when I heard that, I clicked up. I was like, okay, pay attention. So Amir's purchasing a home, and he said, Andy said, so you and Natalie are purchasing a home? And he said, yes, we're purchasing a home. And Andy said, who's on the mortgage? Basically, not in those words, but basically it's like, is it in both your names? And Amir said, well, I'm going to be on the loan, basically, not in these words, so don't quote me verbatim. He said he's on the deed. He's on the loan, but her name is on the deed. Now, what does that mean? It means that he's qualifying for this loan financially using his income only and not using hers. She is just putting her name on the deed. Andy was basically trying to warn Amir that could be a whole problem. Yeah. Because when you do that, first of all, I'm like, okay, Natalie, if you make, in what he make in 1 month in a year, why is his name the only one on the mortgage? Girl, why? And if you make so much money, why don't you have a home of your own already? I'm just questioning. So what this guy is doing, he make this little bit of money every month, but he's the one that's purchasing this home. And then you have the audacity to put your name on the deed. Girl, you're not even married. I see trouble. Because here's what happened. After they close on that and her name is on that deed, if she and him get into a argument, disagreement, or whatever, she could legally tell him he has to buy her out, or he has to sell that house, or if she just walks away and does nothing, if he ever decides to sell that house, he legally has to give her 50% of the proceeds because her name is on the deed, unless they draw up any paperwork that says different. So Andy, I believe, understand that and understood that and was trying to tell Amir, caution, red flags, caution, barricades, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I think when I heard that, I felt like, oh no, this Natalie is trying to take advantage of Amir. She could be a good girlfriend and simply say, okay, babe, buy a house. We'll live there together. I understand it's going to be your house. And I'm fine with it. You could help pay a light bill or a water bill or something. Even if you want to pay part of the mortgage, you could. But that's Amir's house.
Right.
But by you putting your name on the deed, and even if she says, I'm going to pay part of the mortgage, we both are going to be paying everything in the house together, then why isn't your name on the mortgage? Why are you not qualifying for this loan?
Right. It's a sticky situation. I feel so bad for Amir. I really do. And when he brought up the fact that, I think he said, did he say whether he got a ring for her, an engagement ring for her or not?
Yes, he has one.
And Andy said, has she instructed you on how to propose to her? Like, Andy knows what's going on, as we all do. We know Natalie is running Amir into the ground. Like, she's literally running that man. And I can't, Regina, I can't stand it. I really cannot stand for Amir to be as not only as fine as he is, but as generous as he is, as caring as he is, for a woman who doesn't seem to be appreciative of who he is, to be able to just run him the way that she wants to run him, and have some type of control over him, seemingly, which is what Andy was indicating with that particular question. Has she instructed you on how to propose to her? I hope that Amir can open his eyes and be able to see 2020, see clearly what this relationship really is.
Let me tell you this. Andy was throwing out so much wise counsel to Amir, so much wise counsel. And I'm hoping that Andy can get Amir like in a corner somewhere and do a one-on-one with him and talk to him. Right. But here's the thing. I think that Amir's the type that even if Andy came and did a one-on-one, I think he would go right back to Natalie and tell Natalie everything that Andy said. Everything.
And I wish some of the castmates would have this conversation with Amir. Like, we don't like the way that Natalie seems to be treating you. We don't like the way that she's being around you. We don't like the way that she's talking about you to us in your presence. We can't appreciate that. I wish they would stand behind Amir a little bit more, but I think they might feel as though he may not be receptive to those things or to whatever it is that they want to share with him. But I wish that the group would be more supportive of Amir in that way, to let him know you can do better, Amir. You can. I think
they have been trying to tell Amir that, but whenever anybody comes to Amir and tells him something about his girl, Amir is basically like, oh, y'all just coming for me because she's my girl. I'm going to protect my girl. But he's not listening to the wise counsel that's coming his way.
Exactly.
And so, and like you said, you feel bad for Amir. And I said, I don't feel bad for Amir, because Amir don't feel bad enough for himself.
Yeah. I just hate to see it. I just hate Regina. I can't stand to see it, girl. I can't stand to see it.
Here's the thing. Until he is willing to say help, I'm just going to sit on the sideline and pray that he wises up. Because people like that will get you. You will go to Amir and be like, Amir, I believe that this about Natalie, and I think, she's doing this and so forth or whatever. And I think she's taking advantage of you and all that stuff. And Amir will turn right around, I believe, allegedly, whatever, and go right back to Natalie. Well, can you believe that she said that you're taking advantage of me? And I told her that we're just real love. And Natalie would, I think, allegedly, would be, oh, they're just jealous of us. Oh, I don't like her. I don't think you should have anything else to do with her.
Right.
Michelle, you said it right. Natalie know what she's doing. She know what she's doing. She know what she's doing.
And I'm so glad.
She probably wouldn't even be with Amir if he wasn't on this show.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm so glad that Andy called her out on her being the bone collector of this season because she was clearly the only one that wanted to start some mess with Tasia in that moment. And for her to be a friend of Tasia's and be the one to try to bring that to her on camera, that doesn't tell me that you're a good friend. That's not a good friend to me.
Let me tell you what she's trying to do, allegedly. I believe that Natalie is trying to get her a seat on the chair. I believe she's trying to get her a seat over there to be on the show. Amir did a live on his Instagram, and in the comments, people were saying, did we hear that you said you were not going to come back on the show unless Natalie gets a spot on the show? And Amir said, no, that's rumor. I never said that. Okay, here's the thing. I don't believe that he said that. However, I do believe that she is going to try to do her best to allegedly get her a spot on the show. And I believe by her going to Tasia and saying, well, I'll be the one to do it. I'll be the one to do it. I'll say it. I think she knows drama sells. And I think like, okay, if I'm messy and nasty like that, I believe that I'm going to get me a spot on the show. And then she tried to twist it in a mirror. They were like, well, she was coming to Tasia as a friend. She was really going to tell her what the girls were saying. Girl, you could have did that off camera. You didn't have
you could have did that at the house before y'all got to that dinner, maybe in your room or maybe in the bathroom or something like that. Have a one-on-one conversation with her to let her know, child.
You could have texted her. You did not have to take that camera moment. And she sat out there with the girls, the same girls that she was basically saying, I don't get with them. They kind of not like me and they different. You sitting out there in the hammock swing chair or whatever in the yard and having all that conversation. Really, girl? Yeah, feed me. Give me all this information. Yeah.
Right.
No, Nelly.
Messy. That's the messy one right there. That really is. And doesn't seem like the type that belongs with Amir. Amir is not the messy type. And it just don't make no sense to me, Regina. Don't make no sense.
Something. I think I was listening to Kempire. Y'all go check out Kempire's channel. He is so good. I love him. And he was saying this about Amir. He said that there's some men like Amir that they like being mistreated because some kind of what it gives them, like this feeling of power when they allow their women to mistreat them. And he feels as though that allegedly Amir is feeling that way, that they get this sort of strength from women that mistreat them. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
There's something about people who are well known as being aesthetically fine or aesthetically beautiful that are used to that type of attention. So when they get the other type of attention that's not so positive, that's maybe a little bit more not so good or whatever the case might be. Someone who's not on your case, not telling you how beautiful you are all the time, and diminishing who you are from time to time. They attract themselves to that because that's not what they're used to. And they like that for some reason, but I think that's terrible.
He's basically like, they're like some men like women who are controlling, not controlling, but they're strong women. And to them, it's a turn on, even though that strong woman is belittling you.
Right.
To them, it's a turn on. Yeah. So basically, it's like, that's kind of what they feel. What Michelle said, she said exactly, JoJo. Natalie is using Amir.
Yes.
I think she
for clout.
Let me tell you something. If Amir said he wasn't going to be on the show no more, I wonder if Natalie would stay with him.
Good question.
Or would she be like, well, Amir's not going to be on the show production. Since Amir's not going to be on there, can I come on there and then I can have Amir as a guest or something?
Right. Let that be my storyline, our breakup. Yes, of course. Oh, you know, child.
Let me tell you, Aaron said, I think Amir is going, I don't think Amir is going to listen to anyone. I don't think he's going to listen to anybody either.
No,
I don't think he is. And people like Amir, all you can do is pray for them and be there when they need a shoulder to cry on.
Exactly. Be that supportive friend for that person. They're going to make the decisions that they want to make on their own volition. Allow them to do that. And when the floor drops out beneath them, just be there to be able to catch them. That's all we can do.
Because the more you try and help people like Amir, the more they will make you out to be the victim.
Yes.
They will like the attacker. They will make you to be that person and look at you like the bad person. Well, Michelle said, I don't like Amir at all. At all.
Wow.
Let's talk real quick about this. Alex said this, and I thought this was interesting, Jonathan. Alex said, in regards to Summer having a hard time and treating people rude, he asked a question, is it possible that people can go through hard times but still be nice to people. I thought that was interesting. Great point. What's your thoughts on that?
I would say that it's really hard for you to be nice to people when you're going through a hard time because, people like me, I like to save face a whole lot. You're probably not going to know when I'm going through something because I don't want that to show. But that's not how everyone is. And so when someone's going through something, which is why I don't think that Summer should be on the next season, because I want her to work on herself. When someone's going through something, it's hard for them to be to be cordial with others. It's hard for them to be understanding of others, be able to listen to others, be able to be a part of the conversation with others, because they're so focused on what they're dealing with on the inside that they really can't get past that. And that's where Summer is now. She really can't get past the troubles that she's going through. So I'm so glad that Alex brought that up. And it shows how mature Alex is. Alex is extremely mature. Some people might see his behavior as F-boy behavior, but Alex is one of the most mature. All of these people in here, except for Bree, all of these people on this show are rather mature, at least in my opinion.
I say this about that statement that Alex made. I'm glad that he made it. I think it's important. I think we should have more conversations about that, because Alex made a great point. He says, yeah, people can be going through tough times, but you don't have to be rude to everybody. I'm a believer in that too. I've gone through tough times in my life. I wasn't rude to, people, or I don't feel that I was rude to people, because what that does is that just makes you in a place where now you are alone and going through tough times.
Right.
Instead, you should be where, listen, I'm going through a hard time. I'm doing my best to treat everybody nice. Don't intentionally be rude. Like Summer said, hurt people. And that's a choice that you can make. If you're going through a hard time and you hurt and you intentionally hurting somebody, that's what you do because you're just not a happy person going through the situation that you're going through. But it does not mean that you have to always be like that. And Alex is right. We don't have to, just because we're hurt, we don't have to continue to hurt other people. We can be hurt going through a situation and still be kind to other people, especially the people that's in your circle, the people that's trying to help you get through the process. Like she said, she was so grateful to Preston because Preston, told her, I'm not going to leave you. I'm here for you, because she said so many people had left her. Now imagine if she was to keep pushing Preston, keep being rude. Then Preston would leave, and then she would still be saying, everybody leaves me. And I think people need to take note. Those of you who are going through tough times and you say, everybody's leaving me, check yourself to determine, why are they leaving you?
Exactly.
Is it something that you're doing to push them away? Are they leaving for reasons that you gave them? So this is a great conversation, Alex. Great conversation to have. And people need to start checking themselves. If I'm mad and I'm upset, and people come around me who did not do any harm to me, should I be rude to them? No. Check yourself before you have a statement, before you snap at that person. Check yourself. Bria, like you kept snapping at Nick, and Nick is like, I'm there for you, and you still snapping at Nick and Preston. And so when y'all look up and say, I'm all alone, nobody's here. No. Check yourself, check your track record and see what happened, and take some key notes from Alex, you guys, who's going through stuff. Even put this in your pocket and save it for later if you need. If you're going through a hard time and people start coming around and they're your friends and they're trying to help you through it, try not to be so angry just because you are going through a tough time. Be like Alex said, just because you're going through a tough time, you don't have to be rude to everybody. I love it.
And that's why people find it so amazing that some people don't look like what they've been through, because when you can prevail and traverse through those things and still come out better at the end of the day, and people not know that you had a span of time where you were just in the down in the dumps, but when you're able to keep up appearances, then that says a lot about a person, because it doesn't necessarily have to show to everyone that you're going through something, but it is important that when you are going through, that you tell someone and let someone know, so you can have those conversations and get it out and don't keep it bottled in.
That's right. Thank you. That's perfectly said, Jonathan. Michelle said Alex made a good point, but a lot of people cannot do that. And I think that's been the norm. I think that's been the norm with people. But I think because Alex brought it up, it has now opened a new portal, a new doorway for people to now look at this and say, wait a minute, Alex made a great point. I don't have to be that way. Just because it's always been the norm for in the past maybe I need to start pursuing what Alex said and try and do something different.
Right.
So because a lot of times, even like Noelle was like, I know Summer was going through a lot, so I was trying to be a good friend to her. But then there came a point where Noelle said, I see her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically, Noelle was like, now that I see her, I now have to make a decision as to what I'm going to do now.
Right. How you're going to interact with her from here on, where your friendship lies from here on. You got to make those decisions. Absolutely. But I'm glad that that she was able to see that. Noelle was able to see that. And now she can make her decision as to how she's going to interact with her from here on out.
Yes. Aaron said, I just want to shout out to Bravo for listening to the fans last season and giving us a reunion this year.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. We needed a reunion last year too, because I would have really liked to see Phil on the couch.
Right, really Phil and Silas on the couch to have a conversation about Silas and the way he was talking to Jasmine last season, child. That was a
yes. Oh my goodness! And then I would have loved for Andy to ask the panel while Silas is there, how many of you get along with Silas?
Well, I don't think Silas would have done well in a reunion setting. I don't see Silas doing well in that type of setting. I really don't. He's such a buttoned up conservative type of man. That's just not his thing. That reality TV ain't Silas's thing. I don't think. I think he just did it because Jasmine wanted to do it.
Oh my goodness. Well, shout out to Jasmine, because I think I don't know if Jasmine's the one that pitched it, but shout out to Jasmine. And hopefully on the next Summer's House, Martha's Vineyard, maybe we'll get to see a little baby. What's the baby's name again? I forget the baby's name again.
I can't remember either. I know she said it more than once, but I honestly can't remember. But I thought it was so amazing that Silas came from his deployment to be there for the birth of his child. I thought that was amazing.
He made it the same day the baby was born. He wasn't there for the actual birth, but he was able to come all the way, I believe, from Germany, I believe it was, where he was deployed or wherever he was. And he got there the day that the baby was already born, but he did get there the day of, and they have pictures of him walking into the hospital room and Jasmine seeing him and crying, and him holding their new baby. So I thought that was beautiful. It
was.
Listen, I'm praying for this baby already because it's a baby boy, and sometimes these military dads are real tough on these baby boys. So,
and I hope that Jasmine is that soft place that child can land on and be, it's going to be a real yin and yang thing. And I hope Jasmine just doesn't follow along with Silas's way of parenting, and she has her own way of parenting. Of course, you have to parent together. But I hope that there's a yin and yang to this, and maybe this will soften Silas a little bit. I would hope that this would soften Silas.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so, because I know these military dads, honey.
Hey, Bianca.
All right. Hey, Bianca. I know these military dads, so I'm just praying. And Jasmine, being the soft mother, she may not stand up to Silas as much in that mother role, but I'm praying that she gets a mother bear personality,
right,
towards Silas. If Silas gets to go overboard with this baby, being that it's the first baby, sometimes. I'm just saying from experience.
Well, my dad's a military dad as well. However, he wasn't, yes, he was strict at times, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I was younger, that's when we saw more of that side of him. But he's a Cancer, so he's extremely sweet. He's extremely caring. Yes. And so, that it really depends on who the individual is. Not all Army people are that strict in that way, but that's definitely who Silas is for sure. That's definitely who Silas is.
And sometimes it's not a matter of strictness. My father was military, and he was more cold, very cold, and I did not get that huggy, touchy, lovey type of thing until I was in my 30s or 40s.
Wow.
So it was kind of cold, and he really loved my brother because my brother was his boy. He loved, my brother, but there was just this coldness that I felt, and maybe it wasn't his intention to do it.
Probably not.
But sometimes when you're in the military, they teach you the standoffish part because military drill. so forth.
Right.
But we're praying that they all have a great, great relationship and that this baby will be brought up in a home of love, 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 love.
Yes.
And not only will the baby get love, but Jasmine will get that love, love, love. And Silas will stop that control. Maybe the baby will soften Silas. That's what we're hoping. The baby will soften Silas. That's what we're hoping. Well, that's our reunion. Jonathan, any other topics you wanted to cover on this Summer House Martha's Vineyard?
No, I think we covered everything, to be honest. I'm pretty sure we covered everything. Yeah. Nothing left unsaid.
Do you want to see a third season of Summer House?
Absolutely. Okay. Mine is Bria, of course. But I do want to see everyone who was on this particular season, with the exception of Bria, come back. And I think it would be a really good time for everyone.
I think that they are going to have Bria back, and one reason why,
of course,
Cruella DeVille. There's always got to be a villain.
Okay.
There's always got to be a villain. So I think they're going to bring Bria back. If they don't bring anybody else back, I think they will bring her back. I love also, real quick, that Jordan spoke about her alopecia. They had a big bunch of episodes regarding her alopecia. She said her alopecia was doing better. However, she did have an episode where the alopecia came back, but she is discussing it more with her followers about alopecia. Yes. She said she did not know there were so many people that were dealing with the same thing. I'm glad that now she is creating a platform for her to have this conversation, to give some healing to a lot of other people, as well as bring some healing to herself. Because when you start hearing other people dealing with what you're dealing with, it kind of softens what you're going through.
Right.
So I'm glad that she shared that, because a lot of Black women especially don't want to say the issues that they have with their crown, with their hair.
Yes.
And so for her to say that on a public platform, I think it's excellent. I think it's brave of her. And I pray that she continues to do that, bring some awareness and some tips to others that may be dealing with that as well. So bravo to you, Jordan, for doing that. You didn't have to, because she looks great in those wigs. But yes, I'm glad that you brought that up. So thank y'all very much for that. Hey, Q and DJ, thank you for being here. Beautiful. All right, you guys, that's our conversation on our recap on the reunion, Summer House Martha's Vineyard. We thank y'all for being here. Listen, we're going to be right back. We have another show. We'll be doing our 90-day fiance chat, happily ever after, right here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show at 7:30. So y'all click that notification bell over there on our YouTube channel, the Juice Radio and Talk Show. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do us a huge favor and subscribe today. Come on now, hit that notification bell. Go to that subscribe button over there on our YouTube channel. Also, check out our TikTok page. You see the logo on the screen, the Juice Radio and Talk Show. It is a cute logo, if I must say so myself.
It is, definitely. Absolutely. Come on, Red Mug and Microphone.
So check it out. Go over there and subscribe, and check out our TikTok page. I know TikTok may be going through some stuff, but I'm praying TikTok stays. I'm praying.
Right. And quick announcement, there will be no Light of the Leo tonight. So no Light of the Leo at 9 p.m. tonight. We are taking a break for Memorial Day on this evening for Light of the Leo, y'all.
Okay, thank you so much. But go to her channel. She has great videos up. Go to the Light of the Leo. You have to type in the word The Light of the Leo and check out her past videos. Give her a thumbs up on those videos. If you haven't already, drop some hearts and comments in her comment section, and share her channel as well. She does great inspirational videos over there. Yes. So share that and show her some love over there, you guys. All right, you guys. And Jonathan has his own channel as well on YouTube, Instagram, all those platforms as well. JoJo Speaks. All you got to do is type in JoJo Speaks and go over there Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Listen to what he has to say. Amazing commentary on trending topics, news articles, and just fun times over there. And he will read all your comments. They read all your comments, okay? So you want your shout out, go over there to Jonathan's channel, JoJo Speaks, on YouTube Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, you guys. Thank you, Erin. She's putting all that information in the chat there. We're going to see y'all on the next one. Jonathan, go ahead and give us some closing thoughts on this reunion.
Absolutely. Only thing I have to say is, Amir, please leave Natalie as soon as you can, as quickly as possible. Do not propose to that woman. She don't deserve you.
No,
that's all I got.
No. Bah, 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 bah. Warning.
Okay.
Warning, Amir. We trying to tell you. Warning. Red flag. Flag on the play.
Okay.
Red lipstick.
Okay. I need me a yellow flag too for the football people. Okay, need to throw it out. Okay, flag on the play, honey. Okay, flag on that relationship, child. The whole thing.
Y'all pray for Amir. Pray for Amir. That's all. He done been captured. He done been captured. Natalie got him.
But Regina, can you stay on after we go off?
Yes. You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll be right back with 90 Day Fiance. Happily Ever After with Dustin and Aaron and Jonathan back. You guys have a great evening. We'll see y'all on the very next one. Y'all stay safe out there. Love one another, but most importantly, learn to love yourself as well. All right?
That's right.
We'll see y'all on the next one. Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.